Hello everyone and welcome to a classic bonus points format. This is going to be an instant classic video. Before I get started, my name's Ollie. I'm joined always by the sweet prince, Joseph Garrett.
Yeah, the classic was intentional, right? Because it's so perfect of a descriptor.
So we are doing two years ago. Can you believe 2 years ago we did a run of videos where we basically made a collection of 10 games that were meant to represent the console as a whole. And the justification for that was back then, 2 years ago, if you can cast your minds back that far, all of the games company manufacturers, almost like Nintendo and Sega and Sony as well, were doing like classic consoles, which was like a mini version of their console that came packed with some games to like kind of represent that console. And now that the Switch is being lowered into its grave, I figured now's a good time we do the same thing for the Switch.
Absolutely. I can't wait. Is this the big one? Because we loved the format so much and we always wanted to do more of them. Yeah. The problem was me and my knowledge. Ollie has a more expansive knowledge of different consoles than I do. And so there was a lot of other gold ripe for mining, but it was just consoles that I hadn't played much. And so it would have been a whole lot of me going, I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, at the end, we will quickly list off like every single one we did so people can go and watch those ones.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it at the beginning because I want them to watch this one. So we've both brought a collection of games, and I also asked our community in Discord to give us some games as well. And I'm happy to tell you they completely understood the assignment and brought really good choices.
Oh, good.
So what we're doing here is we're not doing like the 10 best Switch games necessarily. It's going to be the 10 that represent the console. The other thing with it being, I guess at the time what we did was it being a mini classic console is like it comes preloaded with these games. So things like Ring Fit Adventure are not going to be included because that would mean you'd have to include the hoop. And Labo wouldn't be included because you have to include the cardboard, etc.
Also, online games are a bit harder. Like, you probably won't find many MMOs on here because they just don't fit that classic format. Like, multiplayer games, I think, have a bit of a bias as well for higher up because they just seem more suitable. Yeah. Like, quicker to grab games generally might be a little bit weighted towards.
I think for the sake of this classic console, we're going to say that you can connect Joy-Cons to it. So you get the two that come with it and you can connect two more. And
but they're really tiny little Joy-Cons.
Tiny Joy-Cons. Right. Also, unlike the previous videos, God, this is a long intro. We quickly ran through a few yesterday that we both had. So that we only had to make one image for each one.
I didn't want to be there cropping out Mario when I know Ollie's already cropped out Mario.
I know. Should we start with those ones? Just get them on there.
Yeah. Well, let's alternate bringing one on because the obvious ones will probably end there. Like, I think there's going to be a few that's going to be hard to fight against. I think like there's like probably going to be 5 that almost have won their position already, maybe. But then the other 5 is where the fire might heat up.
Yeah, I think we should still start with. I'm going to drag one on now. I think for me, poster boy is going to be Mario Odyssey. Obviously, I picked Mario as the little display picture there as well. Had Mario on the mind, but Mario Odyssey, the big 3D Mario. I mean, year one of the Switch, Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, that was like an amazing first year. And for me, that is like that. And obviously, a few others that are going to pop up are the like archetypal Switch games. I don't think you can't really argue that one off, can you?
No. I mean, this is for greatest of all time game. Like for Switch or even platformer aside. Yeah. I think it'll be hard for it to maybe even move from that spot. It's
true. Although, do you know what? I think that actually came out now like 8 years ago. Can you believe that? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the Switch feels like it came out whatever, this year one.
Yeah, true.
Right, okay, I'm going to do my one. I'm just going to do my obvious one now, just because that means we have to argue to kick it off rather than on. It probably won't hang around. And I'm going to leave it that size. Just going to shove it right in the middle there. So, I mean, this Hollow Knight is like there's probably my second best gaming experience I had on the Switch out of any game. And,
wow.
And you know,
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite games of all time, and it's just really suited for the Switch. Something about the little bug, the world, you know, longer play sessions, you know, runs brilliant. It's just, you know, obviously it's a third-party game, which is in the running. These don't have to all be first-party. I don't know if it'll hang around, but it's just very well suited for the Switch and just a great game.
Yes, that is multi-platform, but I've also got a few multi-platform ones that are like, they feel like Switch games. Although when we did do Hollow Knight for the show, I did play it on Xbox, but I completely get it. It does feel like a Switch game. The Switch was really good for indies, wasn't it?
Yeah, and in fact, you know, when we did like
handheld form
PlayStation,
factor.
there was a whole load of third-party games there.
Yeah, true. Okay. I think I might bring on another indie that is perfect for the Switch. Difficult for us to argue about. Slay the Spire. For me, that feels like a Switch game. The most, like, I played that one on holiday as well, so that's like a proper
Snap! My giant one. Yeah, I played this on the Switch as well. Probably my most played game on the Switch, I would assume. I mean,
oh wow, okay. I think we might reach a point where we're arguing between Slay the Spire and Hollow Knight. I'm really worried about the fact that we only have 10 games to add on.
Yeah, good shout. I'll do a Nintendo-y one. This is one that I think that you might not have had, but I think it probably has a place where I could at least make an argument for it. Mario again, but Mario Maker 2 instead.
Oh, okay. I did, in fact, have Mario Maker 2.
Oh, you did? Okay.
In fact, mine's got the title on it. Should we use mine instead?
Yeah. Let's put your one in. Okay, I wasn't sure. I mean, it's a bit weird because, like, I love Mario Maker. Those that have watched the show will, you know, I've done Mario Maker videos even on bonus points on my old channel. You know, I just love games that allow you to make levels. It's hard because I kind of liked Mario Maker 1 more because the Wii U was just better with the stylus. But obviously the Switch, it's portable. So in a way, it feels like, despite the fact they added some cool things, it feels like almost a compromised version of Mario Maker. But I love that core format so well. And it's kind of different to anything else I think we're going to be putting on there.
Yeah, good for our classic console as well because it's got unlimited levels.
Yeah, it's just the online stuff.
Reason to ever...
Obviously, online could work in a classic console, but they historically haven't had anything online.
Okay, I've got another Nintendo one for you. That's equally online as well as local and single player. It is Animal Crossing New Horizons. We can't really not include this one. There's going to be so many that you can't not include it. This one was actually when I got my second Switch, because I didn't have one for a few years. I got a second one when this game came out in the pandemic as well. So that was a really big, this game sold serious amounts because of the pandemic. And that was we hung out in Animal Crossing World.
Yeah, I remember because I played so much more than you. And we were touring each other's islands, and you showed your island, which was, is like an island that someone has spent 10 hours on. And look, I got some things, I put it down. And then brought you to my island where I'd painstakingly planted every plant and structured the terrain. I said about Slay the Spire in terms of our time. Animal Crossing's got to be close. I lived in this world when I wasn't able to live in the real world for a year, along with a lot of other people.
Yeah. Do you remember when I had I bought the four corners of the wrestling ring?
Yeah.
And then we all just got in and we were just rolling back and forth because you can't do anything else because it's technically a bed. So you're just rolling.
And you hang out in my arcade. I had an arcade in my basement.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It was so cool. That was so cool. Definitely, that's got to be on there.
Yeah, that's staying for sure. This is a bit of a weird pick, but I think I really associate it with Nintendo as much because of the marketing of the launch. But ignore my bad cropping.
Oh, come on. What are you talking about? That's not going on there.
Skyrim, the guy playing it on a plane was part of what was selling the idea. If you've got to rewind your head to the world before Steam Decks and ROG Allies and stuff, when handheld games were on the 3DS, and you saw someone playing Skyrim on a plane, that was part of the selling point for the Switch initially. So I really associate Skyrim with the Switch because of that.
Well, I mean, that's not going to be able
No,
to
no,
hang
it
till
won't
the
stay.
end.
It won't stay. It's-
Yeah,
oh, no, most of mine I'm putting on won't stay, but I think they're worth a mention.
Yeah. I will do another one that I know won't hang, which is ridiculous because it totally should. So the Switch for me, synonymous with JRPGs. And I would add, to represent them, Dragon Quest XI S, which sold millions of copies, 92 on Metacritic. And that version was so good, they ported the S version back to the other consoles because it was like that much of an upgrade in terms of like additional content and stuff. And also, Blake from our Discord also suggested Dragon Quest XI S, but I already had it. But yeah, so that's I know it's going to get knocked off, but a lot of people play JRPGs on the Switch, and that's the only one I've got. So
Yeah, and I guess
included
we
it.
should mention like I don't think either of us played. Was it Xenoblade Chronicles? Is the big one?
no,
the
yeah, I
Switch.
didn't play that.
But yeah, also fits this format a little bit less as well. I realize Skyrim's in that that camp as well.
Mate, it beat Skyrim. It beat Skyrim.
Yeah,
If one
sure.
of them has
I
to stay
knew
on there,
Skyrim, but it's like
got-
Skyrim's weirdly so like I just because of that launch trailer, I really think of
Yeah.
it. This one might hang. Mario again, not surprisingly, but Mario Party seems
Ooh.
really soon. I wasn't sure which one, so I just went with this one because there's a few.
I have the same one.
Okay.
I have the very same. Mate, a dear memory to me is playing Mario Party 4 players. with
Yeah,
you.
yeah, we played
That
it
was a great
decently.
time.
You introduced it. I remember for a while because we didn't have it, and then did you delete yours as well?
Oh, you've done yours. I'll delete. No, I'll put mine back on. Mine's cropped correctly. I'll do mine.
Yeah, no, really fun Mario Party. Like I'd never really played Mario Party. I think I played it once before this one, and then you introducing it, and that was one on the Wii when I was at college. So this was kind of my introduction to Mario Party.
Yeah, and then they made another one, which I don't.
They made two more.
That was
They
Super
made
Mario-
two more.
Yeah, but that was the one that hit. That was the first one they did on the Switch. That was the like.
Yeah, it might not be the best one, but it's the one I know.
Yeah, for us casuals, it was. Okay, shall I do a community one?
Oh yeah, I didn't realize you were drawing from
I've
different
got
piles.
some of theirs don't cross over with mine, so I've got a
Okay.
few they've got here. So, Kale says, when I personally think of the Switch, my mind goes to cozy games like Stardew Valley. Also, Stardew Valley feels more like a fleshed out version of Animal Crossing. And for me, my two longest Stardew Valley farms, which to be fair are not that long, but they're definitely my longest, were both on the Switch. So I do.
I
agree.
played on the Switch as well.
Yeah.
My only argument, because I almost included it, I ended up not, even though I really liked this game and played it a lot, is I just always thought the controls really felt like they wanted to be using a mouse. It always felt like
Right,
a compromised experience on the controller and like using a digital cursor. I mean, I know all cursors are digital. You know what I mean? You're controlling it with a with an analog stick. And it was always fun. It was always manageable, but it always felt like a game that was made for a mouse and keyboard that you are playing on controller rather than both input methods being done equally. So that's the only reason I kind of docked it a few points. Was I don't think it's best on Switch, whereas a lot of these other games are.
Yeah, I think though of the console versions, I would play the Switch version.
Yeah, I mean we both
Obviously,
did.
PC is
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well, maybe the Switch
Mate.
too. We need the mouse Joy-Con. That's the
that's a
solution.
good point. That's a good point. That's a really good point. We've done 9 already.
I know.
I've got
10's
so-
not
I
enough.
personally
10
had
is-
18.
We would struggle trying to get 20 on.
I know. Right, go on. Let's see what you got.
Oh yeah, me. Okay, I'm going to do a few more that I think probably won't hang, but deserve some representation since we're filling up.
Okay.
So this is one you may have had, but I think it stands out for obvious reasons. Bayonetta 3,
Ooh, no, I didn't have that.
because
Didn't have that.
because the only place you can
I'm
play
not
it.
keen on. I'm not keen on her. I'm not keen on Bayonetta. I
Oh.
don't like her accent.
Oh, I've never played any of them, so it's a different voice actor
okay.
in 3. Maybe you'd like 3.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, look, it's exclusive to Nintendo, right? So I guess it's got that.
Yeah, it saved us getting a comment, I guess, under the video.
Yeah. Okay, I've got one that definitely won't hang purely because we've been talking about the online maybe not being possible on our classic console. But one game that I think the Switch completely owned was Tetris 99. That was a big game when it came out, and also they did Tetris 99, Mario 99, Pac-Man 99, F-Zero 99, all off the back of this. And it was a cool game. I remember when it came out, I was like, oh my God, it's a battle royale I'm actually good at. The first few nights when people were all new at it, I was getting my first, second, first, like over and over again. So that's a good memory. But if the online is going to be spotty, then it can't hang. It can't hang. I will put it straight in the new bin section down here.
Okay. Goodbye, Tetris.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, Tetris Effect is also on Switch. Don't know if it's probably not the best place to play it, because I think you kind of want that on a TV, but I mean, Tetris is
VR.
great. Yeah, or VR, absolutely.
Have you got one?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to go with indie again. This is a game that I think you've played this as well, but I really like Into the Breach.
Oh, that's got to be one of the best games ever made. That has got to be one of the best games ever made.
Perfect. Did you play on the
That is
Switch?
tough. I actually played it on iPad, and it was good on the iPad.
Okay, I played on Switch. It was the game that I was playing on holiday, and it was my first Joy-Con started drifting, and it made it unplayable. I couldn't play the Switch for the rest of the holiday, and I was so annoyed because it was really annoying, and so it actually kind of killed that game a bit for me because I ended up having a long gap and never fully went back to it.
Man, yeah, I actually played on Mac and iPad. I had a lot of. I got it. It's free. If it's free, if you have Netflix, so
okay,
that's where I ended up downloading it. Do you think for a laugh, our classic console, like maybe 50% of them will make sure the Joy-Cons don't work, to like really on a Switch?
They work for like 5 months, then like as an update, they just mess around with the dead zones and like.
Yeah. I think you could take Skyrim off and Into the Breach and go on.
I was already.
But it's
hovering.
getting tricky. Yeah. It's getting tricky because we got some big games that aren't on there yet. For example, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
So
that
I mean, it
needs to go on.
It's got to be on. Once again, it's weird because it's a port of a Wii U game. Like it has.
The Wii U version, no one cares.
I know. It does have to be on, but it doesn't feel as lovely as like it being a Switch game. You know, I played this game a bunch before the Switch came out, and obviously they improved it and they added tracks and stuff, but really it's the same game but just on a platform people own.
Yeah. Bayonetta 3?
Sure. Yeah, I think Bayonetta 3 and Dragon Quest.
Well, neither of us have history with Dragon Quest's time is,
Yeah.
it's running out, but it is also the only JRPG. For now, I sort of have another one. I might just quickly add it now, actually.
Yeah, well, Mario Kart's the only kart racer.
Yeah. I reckon we could do 10 that are all Mario games almost.
Well, I think we're heading that way.
Yeah. All right, let me quickly add another JRPG just so they can battle it out. Pokemon Sword.
Yeah, it feels like Pokemon should win because it's more heavily associated with Nintendo out of the two.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I mean, Dragon Quest is probably better.
Dragon Quest got up there.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Pokemon Sword is now on.
Okay. This is what I don't... Obviously, it's the online thing. It's got a big single player as well, though. A game that is like surprise in terms of like sales numbers is like way up there as one of the biggest, but I think culturally hasn't had the same impact, but it has just a huge dedicated player base, but it always feels like it's not someone you know that's really into it.
Yeah. I think similar online vibes to Mario Maker. Like they both have a single player component. I mean, I don't know. I've never played Splatoon 3. I've only played the demo of Splatoon 1. So
okay, I've played all three single players and multiplayers. Like I enjoy them, but like I don't like. I think it probably can this beat out Stardew Valley? Is that?
I mean, if any of the indies have got to go, it's probably got to be Slay the Spire, to be honest. Although we do have Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing, and they're both
and I just feel like Stardew
take
Valley
up that same brain space.
It feels like a PC port. Slay the Spire.
Okay,
I feel like it's probably just as good on Switch as PC. Sorry, Stardew Valley. I love you. I did a long Let's Play playing it. There's proof that I love you, but not enough.
Yeah. Okay. I'm convinced. Right. I've got another indie, but this one is really, really closely tied to the Switch and one we both had a lot of fun with.
Okay.
It's Snipperclips.
Ah, another launch game.
It's got to get on there, man. Snipperclips was like the game when the Switch came out. And everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you know, Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, great." But everyone was like, "Oh, but have you played Snipperclips?" And that was like the cool one. So it was like on the store. It was great.
Kai and I went to the pub to play it when the Switch first came out, and we were like, let's go to like the local pub and play our Switch because we can play it in public. You know, we wanted the novelty of playing a video game, not at home. And then this drunk guy came up to us and he was trying to have a go saying like, oh, I've seen you, you've been there like looking at your screens all night. You haven't said a word to each other, whatever. And we were like, what are you on about? Like, we've been shouting at each other. Like, you can't, you're just constantly talking and communicating. And like, he obviously had this whole thing about like, oh, people on their phone, just like
screens.
Yeah, it's like
phone's bad.
If we were playing on like chess or something, you wouldn't have said anything. Like we were shouting at each other the whole time. We're like, just go away. But that's my standout memory of Snipperclips was awkwardly playing it in the pub and getting shouted at by a drunk guy.
Something you can only do on the Switch.
Only on the Switch. Yeah, I mean, I
think it's got to go. It's got to go on, isn't it?
It's really good. I do think it's really fun for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and then you're kind of done. And then it's like as the puzzles get more difficult, it doesn't get more fun. I think
that's true.
Like
that's true. I did play it with I played it with Bryony, and I thought she'd really like it, and she was like, "How is this even a game?"
Yeah,
and it was over in 5 minutes.
Like the idea is so good. And like the way that they move and get squished and stuff, and the is great.
Yeah,
I think it does. The fun doesn't hold up beyond a little while. I think kind of hurts.
Okay, so it can't hang. It's going down in the bin.
Yeah, I mean, if you accept that argument, like I mean, you could obviously it is more Nintendo than
I would. I think we have. I think either Slay the Spire, Hollow Knight, or Into the Breach. I think only one of them is going to end up on here.
Yeah, I mean Zelda's not here yet, so let's.
Yeah, there's loads of games. There's loads of games that aren't here yet. Okay,
let's do one from the community. Let's do a community one.
Oh, community. Okay. So Zaya said, not biased, but Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. Even though I'm best at Tetris on the keyboard, I definitely think the best experience of the overall game is on the Switch, and I believe puzzle games like this are essential for handheld consoles. It's half the reason why I love handhelds so much. Also, the story is genuinely interesting, and I really like the characters. And also, I had it already, but I had the first one. I think the first one's better. Most of my time playing this game, which I played a lot of, ranked online. That's another online one, though. Was on the Switch. And I think Nintendo, Tetris, Puyo Puyo Tetris has 2 in 1.
I played this too. I played the original one.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy it fine. Like I mean, like over what though?
I know, but this is something that you can pick up and play. Like you can just put it in Tetris mode or Puyo Puyo mode, and it's good for that.
I feel like with this, like it needs to be like you imagine you get it. And you're loading it up and you're looking through the choices of games, what percentage of people will be like, oh yeah, I remember playing this on Switch? Is it just too small
that's true, actually,
of a game?
Yeah. That is true. But then also niche? Like the situation that I'm this is what we said 2 years ago, but the situation I'm imagining has been like, come to my house, I've got the new Switch Classic. I'm not going to be firing up Slay the Spire or Hollow Knight.
That's
it's
true.
Going to be like something competitive.
But you need some single play. You need it to be like, oh, I remember playing this, and you got a few to go through, and then you might have a longer one. I just feel like if you'd be like, oh yeah, remember us all playing this on Switch, like maybe within with some friends, like with us it works, Yeah, I remember enjoying it fine, but I just don't know what it would kick off.
Yeah, okay. All right. I think swap mode, that was cool, where it used to change between Puyo Puyo and Tetris mode. That feels like a Switch thing. Should call it Switch mode. Okay, all right. I'll
nothing to do with the quality of the game. That's irrelevant.
I think it might come back. Once some of these big hitter indies are off, it might come back. Okay, shall I do one?
Yeah, go for it.
Or do you want to do one?
No, you go, because I think I'll run out.
Okay. How about this? Pikmin 4.
Yes. Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with this when we did it for the show. Really, really good game. Pick up and play. It's got that weird kind of co-op mode that I played through it in that co-op mode, and it worked pretty well. Also, it's a bit of a graphical showcase for the Switch as well, which Mario Odyssey, I guess, is, but maybe some of these other games aren't so much.
Yeah, it's got like that kind of realistic style. It is a bit of like, tail end of the Switch in terms of performance. I guess it kind of tells.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the story of the Switch. Yeah, I mean, this probably has to boot out one of the indies, right? Do you reckon?
Yeah, probably Into the Breach is a little bit similar strategy.
Do you know?
RTS.
Yeah, and the fact that you get it free with Netflix on your phone, like that feels like as good an option. It's probably less associated with the Switch. So yeah, probably can kick off Into the Breach as much as we love it.
Okay. But for anyone that hasn't played Into the Breach, check it out. Truly one of the greats, that game. Really, really good. And no matter how popular it gets, it'll always be underrated because it's that good. Right. Guys, turning into first party haven over here now. What have you got then?
Well, I was going to do that next. So let's do... I'm going to do another indie, I guess. But it's another biggie, so I think it's worth fighting it out. Hades.
Oh, no way. I've also got Hades. Another double, yeah.
I mean, it runs and looks great on the Switch. Like, it was one of the ones where I was really wanting to play it, and I was properly like Googling, like is it 100% fine on the Switch? Because there's been times where people have said, yeah, it runs all right on the Switch, and then you see it and you're like, oh, people have different standards for above or below 30 FPS. Runs great on the Switch. The run nature of it, you can imagine yourself like on your commute, I'm going to do a run of Hades, maybe, depending on how good you are. Maybe if you're too good, you wouldn't have enough time, but like pausing it, really suitable for the Switch, and just one of the best indie games ever made as well. One of the best soundtracks, great for headphones in.
Yeah, I actually didn't play it that much. I completely, I played it a bit, understood the appeal, it was great. Somehow it just passed me by when it came out. I think I just must have put it down to pick up something else and never went back to it. I definitely got as far as maybe I beat one run, and then I was like, that always what happens to me with roguelike games. I'm like, I do it once, and then I'm like, okay, I've done it now. But actually, before you knock off Slay the Spire, because I think that roguelikes are going to come up against each other, I've got one other one to add.
Okay.
Which definitely can't hang, which is Balatro. For me, that was a Switch title, but you can get it on your phone now. So it's a little bit of a...
Yeah, is it less switchy? I mean, I never got into
but like,
Balatro.
Yeah, but like, look, there's 3 roguelikes there. We can't have all 3 of them.
I mean, if... I personally, I'd be fine keeping Slay the Spire over Hades, just because obviously we're trying to construct this list, but like it's us making it. At the end of the day, it's like I feel like we have a personal connection to it. We did it on the podcast.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I would lean Slay the Spire over Hades, you know, as different of a game they are.
There will be people now looking up Slay the Spire for the first time and being like, "You're telling me the ugliest game ever made has been
one of the most beautiful, like the most like visually and like or like the music and the voice acting, like the writing on it, like yeah." But I know Slay the Spire just that. Okay. I think Slay the Spire is more suited to the Switch, and if you're fine with that, like.
I'm fine with it, mate. I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Look, the thing is I'm kind of like the list. The 10 that are on there are so good. Yeah. It's kind of like it's like a win-win, isn't it? It's like
it feels like we should do Hades, but then it's like, well, it's up to, you know, I don't want that's what culture is telling us. That's what society wants is Hades. But we're anarchists with this, so we're going to choose Slay the Spire, the card game that could.
Okay. Can I do another one?
Go for it.
I think I've got more than you. So okay. What do you think about Super Mario Wonder?
I think we got Odyssey. I thought Wonder was fine. I enjoyed it. I did. I beat it because you accidentally left it around mine, and I had a time limit, and that really motivated me. Oh, I didn't not enjoy it, but I think for it felt, despite how exciting it was with the flower and playing things like playing around with the world, and there's a few really standout levels that are really kind of funny or interesting. Like a lot of the rest felt a bit not generic, but a little bit safe. Like the form, it had that crazy thing in that rest of that format, whereas Odyssey, Like, obviously, you could say, like, oh, it's the game you throw hats to control things. It's like, oh, yeah, that was interesting. But also, loads of other things around it was really interesting. Like the movement, the way it had, like, all of the hidden moons, almost like Koroks. Like, there was a whole, like, the story, the realistic graphics. There was, like, all of these different interesting things at the same time. Like, the musical scene in New Donk City and going 2D into the wall. Like, it had so much that was interesting, whereas Mario Wonder had the one really cool mechanic with the flowers, although I hated their voices.
I think you've made a lot of good points there, but you went Super Mario Odyssey versus Super Mario Wonder, whereas I would say Super Mario Maker versus Super Mario Wonder. See, and I think in that instance, Wonder beats it hands down. Like, for me personally, and also for the culture, for the consumer, I think more people would pick up and do a run through of Wonder than they would start making levels on Mario Maker.
Yeah, I mean, I way prefer Mario Maker, but I think for a classic system, it's a little bit less suited. It's so much more. You really need that online and sharing it with people and stuff. And these classics aren't really that. Yeah, good shout.
So is he going on? He's going on.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Goodbye, Mario Maker.
Yeah, that's the first time we've had a move in a little while.
It's like we can kick off a Mario game, but only if we bring on another Mario game in its place.
He's the only thing.
The Mario equal is 1 in 1 out for Marios.
Okay, have you got one?
Yeah, here's one that isn't Mario, but first party. Kirby.
Oh, I've not played.
I've not played it either, but I felt like.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's cool. Like, you must have been intrigued by the trailers. Like to
be fair, I played the demo. I did play the demo.
Kirby in the Last of Us world. I mean,
yeah. I actually, my brother said that it's really good, and I'm planning on getting it on the Switch too. Because it has an upgrade.
And it's got like that. So is it like mouthful mode where you just like eat giant things?
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
Eats the car like the one in the backgrounds there.
Yeah. Do we just not have enough? Do we just not have the authority to put it over something?
I don't think we have the authority. No, it's annoying me because I famously don't like Splatoon, but I feel like it has to be there. But it does.
That would probably the one. They'd probably be the ones to fight it out, I guess. But I think Splatoon.
They would be, yeah.
More people would be remembering Splatoon fondly in 10 years, I think, than this specific Kirby.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if we're wrong.
Yeah. Oh, they will. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that.
Kirby and the Forgotten Game.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to do another community one. Didn't write a long message for this, but Blake did submit Alien Isolation, which I think... I played it on the Switch when we did it for the show. I absolutely loved it. It ran great. It looked great. It's the best version. Blake says it's the only one with TAA, which I think is like...
Anti-aliasing.
Temporal anti-aliasing? Yeah. So it's like the strongest version, probably outside of like a modded PC version. And also, it's an outlier on this list. It's an interesting outlier on this list. It's the only first-person game, realistic graphics.
Funny looking at the box arts, isn't it?
Yeah. Not first party, not indie either. So... what do we think? I would love to include it, but at this point, I am struggling to knock something off.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I didn't gel with the game, as I said on the podcast. So it's kind of it almost feels unfair for me to to argue against it. The fact that it's best on Switch is interesting. I don't know. I think that's almost like a fun fact. Like, isn't it weird that like the Switch version's better than the PS4 Pro rather than, I don't think people associate it with the Switch. Like, I played it on Xbox before on Switch, like I think it's seen as a console game, and it's an oddity that the Switch version, just because it was released later and so they spent more time on it, it just happens to be better on Switch. Okay. All right, it can't hang. It's a shame. Sorry, Blake. But you are right. Double wow. I bet he hated the podcast as well. Yeah, maybe our guest enjoyed the game. We couldn't hear him though, could we, when we had him on? So we'll never know. Right, your go. Okay, I might just get the big one out of the way. I might just do it at this point. Okay, which one? Which big one though? Breath of the Wild. And is that the only one you have? It is the only one I have. Yeah. Okay. If I had to pick one, definitely be that one. Did you have Tears of the Kingdom? No, I knew you had Breath of the Wild, and I was kind of, I'm not even going to give it as an option, so we don't have to have that debate. Tears of the Kingdom, amazing, right near the top of the list of our podcast list, as it deserves. Breath of the Wild is my second favorite game of all time. So,
yeah.
It's...
I think Mario Party, Pokemon Sword, Pikmin 4 should all be quivering in their boots right now, as I feel like in order to put a first party on, we need to take a first party off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Pokemon Sword. For me, out of all of these games, is the standout, the one I like least out of all of them.
Yep.
But it just feels like, there's a classic Nintendo console. Like, does it have a Pokemon game on? No. Like, it just feels like it should.
Yeah.
But and also, I feel like the Switch should have a better Pokemon game. I think that's what it is.
Well, I mean, don't speak too soon. Pokemon Legends Arceus was also on my list, so which I would put over Sword personally, but I knew you'd played Sword.
Yeah, I played either Sword or Shield, one of them.
I mean, look, I would put. Let me just do this. I would put Arceus where Sword is, because I loved Arceus and I think we both enjoyed Sword.
Arceus is interesting as well compared to Sword.
Yeah. But I would also knock Arceus off for Breath of the Wild. So
a really trivial act. You just
it got his time. It got his time in the top 10.
Oh man,
but Breath of the Wild.
You know what? That little knight on Hollow Knight keeps wiping his brow. Like he keeps. You know what he's doing? He's like, when it's nearly your bedtime when you're a kid, and you don't give any of your parents eye contact because you don't want them to realize you're there.
Watch TV.
Yeah, quite. And you just don't want to go to bed. That's what keeps happening every time. You're like, oh, what we're going to knock off? It's just like, I'm not here. Just trying to blend in with the
Slay
scenery.
the Spire and Hollow Knight. I mean, they're the only non-first party games now.
I know. We got to have at least one. We got to have at least one of them.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to do one?
Oh yeah, that was. It just felt like that had to have been my pick.
I did three. I did three in one go.
Okay, another Mario one. Don't know if it will hang, but really suited for this console. Mario Tennis Aces.
I only played the demo. I heard that the general Mario sports community did not latch onto that game. Is my understanding.
I did. I loved it. I played it online.
That's a good multiplayer game as well.
Yeah, it'd be great for like, come round, let's play. I mean, I don't think people. You ask someone in 5 years, what is the name of the tennis game on the Switch, the Mario one? They're not going to remember the name of it, are they? I think that might be the most damning thing. But that like split screen play, like local play, is very suitable. But I think it just wasn't popular enough, and I think that matters for this format. For what we're doing, popularity does actually matter.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Maybe it's straight in the bin. God, this is brutal. So many of them are not surviving and are going straight in the bin. I've got another one that just can't hang. I picked it for all the right reasons, but looking at this list now, it can't hang, which is Pinball FX3. And the reason I picked it is because you can play it with the Switch on its side, and you can play it without the Joy-Cons, and all of that switching, moving things around, like the Super Mario Party thing where you can connect two Switches together. Like, we don't have any games that really take advantage of that. Pinball FX3 does, so I was like, that's a good choice. But I mean, come on. It's not hanging with these, is it?
Yeah, no. The night was puffing out their chest. They're not even. They're not fretting.
Yeah. No, that's a shame. All right, straight down.
I mean, I love pinball, but yeah, it's. I mean, once again, like, name 10 games associated with the Switch. How long would they have to list games until they get to Pinball FX3?
Yeah, true. I think I'm biased because I had a flip grip, so I could play my Switch sideways, but not many people had one of those. So, okay. Do you want to do another one?
Yeah, I think this might be my last one. Oh no, I got two more. Got two more. Luigi's Mansion 3. All this Mario talk. When's Luigi going to get their time?
Good two-player game.
Good co-op game. One of the up there in terms of graphical showcase. In terms of, I mean, it looks great, but just like the animation system and the physics system, the really dynamic world that you could interact with and fling things around in. Really impressive, and it runs really well.
Yeah, I would say up against Pikmin 4 would be.
I don't think it hangs. I think
It doesn't hang. Oh man.
I don't think it. I mean, it compared to Pikmin 4. I think Pikmin 4 is a better game, and the fact that I know it's the fourth Pikmin, but like the Luigi Mansion games, like I played 2 as well on the 3DS, and obviously it hasn't got the co-op, but it's very similar. And the fact that if you were playing this solo, it's kind of annoying because you have to keep switching back and forth which character you're playing. So it's kind of really, it's kind of only good co-op, I think.
I've never played any of them, Luigi's Mansion games, not even the original.
They're cool. They're interesting, but I wouldn't say they're a must play. I think if you're happy, I'll put it down here.
If you're happy and you know it, in the bin. I guess at this point. Okay, I've got a first party title that I wish could hang because it's so unique, but I know it's not going to hang. It's, of course, ARMS.
That was my last one. That was my last one. I hadn't brought one yet, yeah.
Oh, man. That's a good game with its motion controls as well. It's a really good, unique aspect. Amazing graphics, amazing soundtrack. Yeah. Easy to play, but...
I just hear the title music.
Yeah, probably would get old pretty quickly.
Well, it did.
In local.
It did.
I played online. I liked playing online, but not that much. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, ARMS can go in the bin.
I think Luigi's Mansion would be over it if we were going to resurrect one of them.
Yeah. Okay, this is a community one, but it's another good motion-controlled one. Curb Kip says, this one might be debatable, but I personally love the Switch version of Taiko no Tatsujin. Unlike the other versions, the Switch version has a party mode that has 4 players, not to mention you can use your Joy-Cons motion controls to play it. And you can also use your touchscreen. One has a little picture of the drum. Both unique features to the Switch. There's no other music games on here. Taiko's a fun one, but it's a struggle. It's a struggle, isn't it? Against the first party, like absolute monoliths.
It's another victim of the how many people associate this with Switch or even know about this franchise. Like, it's nothing to do with the quality of the game and stuff. It's just how many people would be excited to load up their classic and see it. Like, some people would be like really excited. I think most people would be like, oh, what's this? And maybe enjoy it, but it wouldn't be a syringe of nostalgia, which is kind of what you want from a lot of these games.
It's a good showcase though, isn't it? To be like, oh yeah, the Switch could do this. Like the most, like it could drum like this. You could touch the screen. You could take it in and out. Like it is a really good showcase for that, which is something where our list is actually lacking.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love it.
10 is lacking.
If this was 20 games, I'd love it to be included. It would feel really nice that we're like, oh, we're so cool. We included this. You know, you thought it was going to all be Mario, but when it's just 10, it's really tricky.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Curb Kip. It's in the bin. Do you want to do your last one?
No, I had ARMS, so that was that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was.
In that case,
ARMS.
then. In that case, then I've got 2 multiplayer games. One of them particularly. So this is my one. I associate with the Switch. Definitely would be Overcooked. And Josh Iyer wrote in and submitted. My first thought, of course, was Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, especially if you're able to use a game controller with an adapter that has the notches. It's got motion controls if you want a super difficult challenge, but I think it's great to have so many levels and mini games available to play wherever you go. I've always wanted that since childhood playing Monkey Ball games. And plus, Monkey Ball did start as a Nintendo exclusive on GameCube. We have a lot of fun playing the Monkey Ball mini games. I think we would have had a lot of fun playing the Monkey Ball mini games on this if we did, but we never played this one, did we? Together?
No, I never played it. I never played it at all.
Yeah. But we loved Monkey Ball Deluxe back in the day, and it's just probably... For a local co-op machine to be like, come over, we'll play something, and having Monkey Ball in there with all the mini games, it's like...
You know
that's
what?
Quite a pull.
I think Overcooked could hang because it's a really good use of the whole everyone plays with half like a Joy-Con, well, a Joy-Con. And it worked. Yep. The controls, they were simple enough. You don't need 2 analog sticks. You can just move single screen, and like, it's a really good example of that cool feature where, you know, you could do that with Mario Kart, but it always felt a little bit annoying with those triggers, those little buttons. Whereas Overcooked, it was, you never felt like, oh, I got to play with one Joy-Con. It always felt fine. And I think Overcooked might be able to push off one of the other indies.
I actually think it could push off Animal Crossing, because these classic consoles, people tend to get them out, play them for a bit, and then they go in a box. And Animal Crossing, you're meant to play it every day. And also with Animal Crossing, people are always going to be playing the newest version. It's not often people go back and play an old Animal Crossing game, is it? So for that reason, I think Animal Crossing could be knocked off.
What about cooking off Mario Wonder?
No!
We can't
He's got to have a 2D Mario game.
I know, because if for what I was saying about this is a dose of nostalgia. Imagine in 10 years' time getting up this classic, and you're someone who put 200 hours into Animal Crossing, just loading it up and hearing the music and seeing the villagers and stuff, like, you know, even if you don't start a new island and play it for another 100 hours, like it's probably the biggest game on this list. I bet it's bigger than Mario Odyssey and Zelda. Or Mario Kart, yeah, not Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It's probably the second biggest game on the list.
Mario Wonder, imagine Christmas morning, you're opening up your Switch Classic. You could say to your dad, oh yeah, it's got Mario. And he'd play Mario Wonder and he'd understand it. That's great. That's a memory made.
Yeah, I consider inventing scenarios for any games. imagine your dad loves rhythm games, and you learn this. You know, it's like you can make up as many scenarios as you want.
No, but like, you know what I mean? Like that's a classic game that like they'd be like, oh, back in my day we had Pac-Man and Mario, and that's it. And it's like we've got Mario on here.
Imagine my dad has springs for arms, and I load up this game, and I say, look, it's a game for you.
You convinced me. Arms is going back on.
I get what you're saying for the classic format. I think Animal Crossing is too big. It almost overpowers the fact that it's not suitable for a burst of play. I think it's just too many people would be like, what, you haven't got Animal Crossing? Like, it would be it'd be like if the Sega one didn't have Sonic. It'd be like, wait, what do you mean? You know, like it's so expected.
Or or the Nintendo one didn't have Mario, I guess, is it? Similar.
Or the Nintendo one didn't have 5 Mario games out of 10 games total.
What about Splatoon 3? I feel like Splatoon 3, Slay the Spire, and Hollow Knight, for me, I could go either way at this point.
Yeah, I'm surprised Hollow Knight and Slay the Spire have hung around.
It's just because it's good to have something that isn't a first party on there. It's good to have that.
Yeah, I know Overcooked is another.
They're the best of the best.
Another third party. Okay, should we get rid of Monkey Ball as just because we don't?
Oh yeah, sorry Monkey Ball.
Yeah,
sorry Josh Iyer.
Also, it just Overcooked is everyone knows Overcooked. You know, I think that helps it out here.
Well, I mean, Overcooked could take off Mario Party. I feel like they occupy a similar space. And also, I tell you what about Mario Party. I love that Mario Party game. Really, really good. By round 9 of the 10, I am a bit like, when does this end?
It's really. Sometimes it feels like I'm just not moving anywhere. Like it's just so. If I want to go to the other end of the board, that's going to take me like half an hour. You know.
Yeah, that's where the star popped up, and it's like I'm never going to get there.
Yeah, but that's what it is, though. That's if you're playing with good mates, though, it stays fun.
We did have fun. I know. Yeah. Look, I think a first party needs to go. Like we need to diversify this portfolio.
Maybe Splatoon 3 because of the online thing, and we would assume that the online they're not going to bring up because they had all like the events, the Splatfests and stuff. Like all of that's going to be gone. And the single player Splatoon 3 does not hold up at all compared to these others.
Okay. You used to log on and be like, oh, do I like ketchup or mayonnaise?
Yeah.
But get on my Switch and let everyone know.
Walking around the plaza and everyone's like saying like weirdly like political messages and so like their drawings and stuff. Yeah. Like that was a moment, and that kind of dies without the online. So yeah, maybe this is the way it should be.
Okay, I've actually got one more. Definitely can't hang, but for me it's a huge title and it's definitely a Switch title for me, was Monster Hunter Rise. I know it's not going to get on this list now. I just spotted it in my list. That game is a portable game. Monster Hunter at heart, and local co-op, really, really good on it. Online co-op, really, really good on it. Absolutely huge title, but I mean, at this point, it's not going to hang, is it?
No, I don't.
Or no, okay.
I mean, I've not played it, so I can't really say anything.
Okay, so that's everything. Is there any swaps?
Can I shuffle these around a bit first and like do maybe change around the order? I mean, I think these two need to be up here like this. That looks nice. I think.
Yeah.
Then maybe.
What about Mario Kart being up there as well?
Yeah, that should maybe be 3, then Animal Crossing, and then Pikmin 4. That feels like that's the top row. And then
imagine if the whole bottom row was third parties.
That would be. I mean, Mario Wonder. Like, I don't think we need 2 platforming Mario games. I know they're different perspectives. I don't think we need 2 Mario platformers. Look at him. He looks the same. Look, he's in the same face.
I know.
On both of them.
Look.
Like we have the best one. Your dad's just gonna have to learn how to turn the camera. You can play Hollow Knight.
Not my dad. My dad's prolific.
I was using your example. Wonder. I wasn't saying your dad.
Yeah. Maybe Mario Wonder, and maybe Slay the Spire. Maybe Mario Party. That bottom row to me is looking a bit shaky. Hollow Knight and Overcooked, I think maybe they can hang. But the other 3 are starting to shake a little bit.
What do we want to put up? Because this is meaningless unless we have because we need to compare. I mean, Pokemon Arceus feels like that would actually be a nice one to have, even though I didn't play it.
Yeah. Also, JRPG, there is no representation at the moment.
And just the fact that it's like, oh, you can actually just walk up to, you see the Pokemon in the world and you just walk up to them and you just throw your Pokeball. Like that's what, when we played Pokemon like on like the Game Boy as a kid, we always dreamed about that, you know, like actually being in the world and seeing them. And like they kind of started doing that in like the mainline ones a bit, but it's so rubbish. And, you know, I didn't play Arceus because basically I was just a bit of a graphic snob with it. I was like, the whole thing's about exploring this big open world, but it's just ugly. I don't want to. You know, like if it's a game about wanting to explore a world, like make a world I want to explore. And I didn't like the style. You know, it's held back by the tech. But from hearing your enthusiasm and other people, I would like to have a Pokemon game. That's the strongest contender for me for bringing up.
Yeah, I think so too. What would it knock off for you?
Mario Wonder.
Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. Mario Party and Overcooked together is a bit of a tricky.
They're very different. They're quite different.
Yeah, they're obviously different, but they're both like chaotic 4-player party games. Mate, we don't even have Smash Brothers on here.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I'm not keen either, but...
Sorry.
Splatoon 3 was on here for a bit.
Sorry to the 20 million people that make it their life.
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you what then. I will fold, because I love Pokemon Arceus.
I mean, I've not played Arceus, and I played Wonder. I don't know what that says.
Yeah, but that's you being a snob.
This is a... Well, I think, you know what? I think this box art is so lovely. It's actually kind of swaying.
Mate, if this game had good graphics and you played it, you would genuinely love it. You would really love this game. I understand the snobbing of the graphics, but you would love it.
Yeah. It's not like it's not in 4K. It's like I don't want to like it's like the whole thing of exploring games like what's over the hill? It's like I know it's going to be over the hill, like smudge. Brown smudge.
Yeah. It was very much focused on like collecting and crafting, and that was more like what you're looking for more than like vistas or caves or anything like that. It was like there's a rare fruit on a tree, but it's like, you know, it's not that exciting.
I mean, I didn't give it a chance. Maybe I would have liked it.
Okay, are we happy?
I mean, is there anything else?
I think we need to decide if we're doing this for ourselves or if we're doing it. If we're doing it for a classic console for consumers, then I think Slay the Spire should probably come off. But if it's for us, I'd love Slay the Spire to be on there. That's a great game.
It's tough because Slay the Spire is huge, but I'm assuming you can play it on phones and iPad and stuff, right? Because that's the thing.
Yeah. You can play it on it's on everything.
And those, because I know on PC you do the thing where you like drag the card actually onto to attack. You drag your card onto them rather than just, which is a really satisfying way to do it. It feels better than just selecting it. So maybe,
Yeah.
as great as that game is and great it is for mobile, maybe, but replaced with
Before
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah. So before that, figure out what to replace it with. Also, is the Joy-Con the best way to play Hollow Knight?
I mean, it's like a controller is the best way. I mean,
Yeah, but the Joy-Cons, mate.
but I mean that's any game, right? That's just. I mean, I've probably played it.
Well, I don't know. Like Overcooked, the Joy-Con is the best way to play it.
Well, it's no. I mean, because you could just play with like if you played it on PlayStation with like 4 DualShocks or Dual whatever they're called now, DualSense. That's better.
DualSense,
like a full controller's
that's true,
better.
that's true.
Like if you have them, but it's a fine way to do it. I mean, well, Hollow Knight, I played most of it with a Pro controller on a TV, and then occasionally if I would play it out. And I think the thing is just it. Like you're not really playing a compromise experience on the Switch. The resolution might be down a little bit, but the art, it doesn't really matter for that art style hugely.
No. Do you know what? I think if I unpacked my Switch Classic on Christmas morning with my dad, and I looked at what games are on there, and it was these 10 games, I would be absolutely overjoyed, to be fair. Every single one, I'd be like, what? He's got that on there? He's got that? Like, and there's nothing on there that I would be like, oh, it's a shame it doesn't have whatever. XYZ. I think we've...
Yeah. I think
done
that
it.
the obvious ones out of these to bring on would be Kirby or Luigi's Mansion. I played Luigi's Mansion and didn't love it enough to champion it over these, and we haven't played Kirby, so I think, and then Mario Maker would be the other one, but I think that's because of the online, and we're kind of assuming it doesn't have, who's making levels for it on the classic now. They don't have all the old, like they wouldn't get that right.
Yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't. They would just delete all of the old levels as well.
Yeah.
It would just be gone. Start again. Okay. I think we've done it then. I'm actually very happy with that lineup.
Cool.
Despite looking sad, I'm happy with it.
Let's switch these round. That looks a bit
Why?
nice. I think these two are mates. They've stuck together through thick and thin, haven't they? They've been
true,
they've been like
true.
Every time there's a bullet coming, they're like dodge, and like they're like helping each other out, lifting each other up. And then Overcooked and Mario Party is they kind of fit nicely together.
Yeah, I'm happy with this list. I think that we've actually done a really good job. We really boiled down what the Switch was all about, like super strong first party lineup, and also great for indies and for multiplayer. And that's pretty much covered. The only thing we did slip on a little bit is the Switch having all these different ways you can play it. But
that isn't. But I don't think that's the legacy of the Switch. Like the IR, the IR sensor and the motion controls. They ended up, okay, they brought Skyward Sword, but they made a way so you can play it without motion controls because most people didn't want to play with motion controls.
Yeah. There's also you got to think, sort of tangentially related, the 3DS, when we got to the end of the 3DS's life, most of the games didn't have 3D and they didn't use a touchscreen.
Yeah.
The gimmicks kind of stopped geting used.
They don't, like 1-2 Switch isn't here because that was like a showcase of the hardware. Look what it could do, and then basically no other games did it. And the cases that did work, like Splatoon, like using the 4-axis to aim, generally, like it was fine. Like if you really put the time in to learn it and you got good with it, like you could be more precise with that. It's fine, but it's otherwise a traditional control scheme with a slight assist. It's not, I'm walking over a beam, so I've got to balance by leading the controller. Like it's not that like that gimmicky stuff died within the first year for the most part.
Yeah. Are you happy with the list, with what we've got?
Yeah, it's way better than I thought it was going to be. I did not think I was going to get Hollow Knight and Slay the Spire on.
No, they're good. They're, indie representation, 2 of the best ever made. Like, of course, they have to be on there.
Yeah, but Hollow Knight, I thought you... Actually, I'm not even going to say what I thought you'd say because you might agree with what I thought you'd say.
What would I say? Tell me what I'd say. I'm not moving it now.
You would have said, why isn't
Tell
it
me
in the number 1 slot? It should be up there before Mario. It's so good. Where's Silksong? Where's Silksong? That's what I thought you were going to say.
I've locked it, so it cannot be moved anymore. Tell me what you thought I was going to say.
I thought you'd say because it's like just quite a long and difficult game. It's not very suited.
That's true.
For the classic style.
That's true.
It's a bit of a... it's a bit of a Marmite game. A lot of people love it. A lot of people bounce off really quick, and so it's
Well, look,
yeah.
Breath of the Wild's not exactly easy, is what I'd say to that.
No,
Breath of the
I think
Wild is
that's the
not
same.
walk in
I
the
think
park,
there's a
so-
lot of people I know that were like, no, it's just too difficult, or it's yeah. And I mean, Breath of the Wild's a weird one where it starts difficult and gradually gets easier as you play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I guess this is it. This is our 10 games. I guess we'll see everyone in 10 years when we do this for the Switch too.
Does it come with a little dock? So it has a little dock.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
works?
yeah. Yeah, it has everything.
And then
It has everything.
a little switch. And how much?
In my mind, it's the same as a regular Switch. You just can't install anything new on it. That's how
it's got to be it's got to be smaller. It's got to be smaller. Just a bit.
Keychain.
It's got to be a bit smaller. It's got to be cute somehow.
Okay, maybe the size of a Switch Lite, but it's actually a Switch, so it's a bit smaller.
Okay, yeah.
You're not going to use the
But
buttons.
I guess
They're
you need to
already
use
small.
the buttons. Yeah. And how much does it
And,
cost in 10 years?
In 10 years
Yeah,
for this,
$5
okay.
grand.
It depends on the tariffs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Probably 120 quid.
Okay. Yeah. No.
120 quid, but it outputs at 10k.
You plug it into
there you
your
go.
eyeball vision, which we will have installed by then.
Yeah. All right, sweet. And if you enjoyed this video, we also have Xbox 360, PS2, PS3, and Wii, which we had with a guest. We had a Wii expert on. Is that the ones we did?
Did we do Game Boy? We must have done Game Boy, right?
No, we didn't. We didn't.
Well, let's do a Game Boy one, right?
Let's do Game Boy then. Okay.
Why did we
All
do
right,
Game Boy?
I guess we'll see you sooner than 10 years then. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye. Did you know we have a Patreon? Maybe you're unsure what that is.
Patreon allows you to support us directly, and in return, you get exclusive stuff, access to our Discord server, behind-the-scenes content, and an exclusive podcast series.
Your support means we can up our production and continue making fun videos. You can join us at patreon.com/thebonuspoints. And it has a free trial too.
Woohoo!